Lando, congratulations. That went perfectly, didn't it? Right from the launch?
It did, yeah. Yeah, no, good launch. Always a bit nervous at the launch. It can be a bit of a lottery at times, but our launches lately have been very strong. The team are doing a lot of work on trying to make sure we're good at the launches, because it can win you the race and lose you a race, So we seem to be on top of it, and we need to keep that up. But from that point onwards, I had clean air, clean track, and I could just push and do what I wanted to do. So car's working well. I feel like I'm driving well and on top of things. And when both of those things go together, you can have a great race.
Can you take us into the cockpit? Does it feel like, that update you guys brought to Austria a few years ago, where it just transformed McLaren's season, and then from there it went on? From where you were in Melbourne, 30, 40 seconds off at the end, versus now, what does it feel like to you?
In some ways, some of it's just the car works better, but there are certainly things and characteristics from the rear of the car that you just feel more comfortable to hit the throttle pedal a bit more aggressively. It's also more predictable. So as a driver, when you're trying things, you're able to kind of find the sweet spot in a better way. Before than previously this year, you kind of push and you make a big mistake, and then you're a bit afraid to ever get close to that limit again. So now it seems to be a bit more like, and also the temperatures maybe plays a part of it. It's right on the edge of sliding rather than being very snappy and unpredictable. And those are also conditions I normally perform well in. But at the same time, the car just has a good rear now. It gives us confidence as drivers. So you can just get on the throttle, you can give it a bit of gas, and that's always a nice thing to have.
And the team have talked about all of the updates and the work they've done. Tell me about you. What have you done in the last 3-4 weeks to learn a bit more about the systems? Surely having this time off has given you time to think, process the first 3 weekends a bit more?
Yeah, no, quite a bit. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like I've had a bad start to the year. It doesn't look like it's been a good start for me. And
China
my results
you didn't start.
Exactly. So, things have not looked great from the outside, and I think it's easy to think that, but I still feel like I've been doing a good job. We've just had so many problems and so many issues, and this is the first weekend where things have just gone as I wanted. So I feel like I've done a good job, but I've also, the amount of laps and I drove turn one on the simulator probably about, feels like over 1,000 times, and now it's my best car on the track. So I've worked hard to improve on my things and making sure I'm getting everything out of it, and so far so good.
Right, the World Championship defense is on. I'll let you get to the lift.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
Hi, Max. You had a great battle there for a while with Lewis, backwards and forwards, but overall, how pleased are you with the race and the way the updates have worked, and what does that give you for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I think once we had our issues a little bit sorted, because start was again not good, there was something similar to China that happened, and then after that, out of the last corner in lap 1, I had no battery release. So that was then making it, of course, a lot more difficult for me. But yeah, after that, once I was in clean air, actually, the car felt not too bad. I mean, I was catching again one Mercedes, so yeah, the pace was all right. Even though I think there's still quite a lot of room for improvement also from our side. The car is still not where I want it to be. And also in the low speed corners, the car is jumping a lot, which is a bit awkward. But yeah, we just keep going.
Thank you.
Max, did you waste too much time in the fight with Lewis, but you finally back fighting? Can you summarize?
I mean, I had to let him by, but he doesn't come by. So we lose 4 seconds because he just stays behind me. That's where we wasted our time. I don't know what else I could have done there. So that's a bit of a shame. But after that, I think once I was in clean air, the pace was actually quite okay. Still a lot of things that I think we have to work on. Because in the low speed the car is jumping a lot, which is costing me quite a lot of grip.
Grazie, Max. You battled Max as much as you could out there, but ultimately in the end just couldn't keep the place. So how much do you want to change for quali later? How much can you change for quali later to try and make this car better for you this weekend?
I'm hoping that we can change a lot. I think, yesterday I lost 3 tenths just because the software wasn't working properly. So I'm driving the same, but losing down the straights. And in the race, it seemed that continued from qualifying. So I think they're going to have to do some software changes or something to make sure that doesn't happen going into qualifying. And hopefully we'll have slightly better deployment. And yeah, the setup is in the wrong place. So definitely we'll make some big changes going to qualifying.
You are one of the few drivers who enjoy leaving the marker behind motorsport, like Alex Zanardi did in his life. What's the greatest lesson he has left you thinking about him?
Obviously, I only heard just before the minute silence. Already tapped into the news, whatever. So sad to hear his passing, and but I mean he was remarkable. For one, he was just a really lovely guy, and then just with his resilience, you know, the way he came back, how he always maintained a real positive attitude and accomplished so much. He's a real inspiration for so many, and I think he did things the right way.
Hi George, promoted to P4 because of the track limits violation for Kimi, so it is a place further forward, but how much happier are you today with the car you had, and what have you learned that you can take into this afternoon to try and start further up?
Not much happier, to be honest. As I said yesterday, I struggle on this track. It's very low grip. There's a couple of tracks on the calendar that are a bit like this here, Brazil, Zandvoort. I just don't know what it is. I just sort of struggle when the car's at four-wheel sliding. But yeah, P4, 2 places forward. But obviously the improvements from McLaren, Ferrari, and also Red Bull are a little bit daunting. So that's the main thing.
All right, Kimi. It looks like the rest of the field have caught up with their development, so it makes those starts even more important now. Talk me through it. Like you mentioned on Thursday that it's a bigger problem than fixing straight away. So how difficult are the starts? What's going on, and what's the fix?
Well, I mean, we've been doing work over the break, and you know, on my side, for once, I did everything right with the procedures. So we need to check what happened. The grip was very low, probably lower than we expected. And then after that, I was really frustrated. I didn't even drive well. I did a lot of mistakes. I got track limits, and which is something that I need to avoid. And but this weekend definitely has been more difficult, but was expected. With everyone bringing big upgrades, and we just gotta try to maximize the result, and now we'll focus on the qualifying.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It looks like a good result. You got the last point today. You fought hard after yesterday's qualifying. What can you take from this into qualifying later? What sort of car have you got target-wise?
I think overall positive, to get this point, because this was the best we could hope for from today. We're finishing quite far away from Lewis ahead, and I'm glad we could get out of one Red Bull. I think for me personally, it's mainly in terms of feeling and just getting the traction. I've been suffering since the first lap in practice. Today I had a good start, good position, and after that was just about putting good laps. But I'm still not feeling great, so hopefully we can make a step forward. I think on the flip side, we seem to have a good pace advantage over the rest of the midfield. So it's a lot of positives to take, but still feel there is more to unlock.
Thank you.
Hey Valtteri, well, how was that out there? Because it looked like you were on the back foot maybe from the beginning.
Yeah, it was really a tricky sprint for me. Really struggling with pace big time. So sliding around from lap 1 really. So and a far off. So we got to figure out what's going on. Something I don't think is right.
Well, better luck for later today. Thank you. Hey Alex, well, you're obviously up against it after the penalty and dropping back down the grid. How did the car feel? And then what did you manage to learn after that pit stop when you made a few tweaks?
Yeah, I think we were making a good recovery. We were moving up the fields, and then we caught up to the midfield pack. We like a pit stop in the race, so we kept tradition going, and trying to learn the upgrade package. I think we've noticed something from yesterday that's not quite right on the car, so we just need to make sure we do a comparison before qualifying later today.
Thanks, good luck with that, thanks. Hey Fernando, I know these afternoons are a little bit tricky these days, but did it feel like there were some improvements anywhere, even with the Honda power unit?
Yeah, vibrations are better, so we could finish the race without any issues on our hands or our bodies. So yeah, that's a step forward. Obviously, the level of competitiveness is still poor, and we started at the back of the grid. We finished fighting with the Cadillacs. At least we finished in front. But we need to find something extra for this afternoon.
Well, good luck with that. Thanks. Hey Ollie, I appreciate you were expecting a bit of a tough one out there. How was it though?
As expected, probably worse than expected. Actually, I was just really struggling with the rear axle since very early on, particularly in high speed, and then obviously this track has so many traction zones, and I was really struggling. So yeah, it was a fight trying to stay on track actually, and we've got some work to do before the main qualifying. We had some ideas prior to the sprint race, and I think the sprint race has confirmed that the direction that we're thinking of going is probably the right one. So hopefully that will help us for tomorrow.
Right, best luck with that work.
Thanks.
You were probably expecting a bit of a tough afternoon in the sprint because it's quite hard to understand what you can make progress in. How was the car out there, and are you optimistic with what you've got for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, that was our pace. You know, like, it was very difficult to catch the cars ahead. It was Isaac and a few Alpines. Looks like they are quite strong. They put a 10-second gap, and I stabilized in a pace that I was comfortable in, comparing to the cars behind as well. So I think I was 9 seconds ahead of the Hasses. And yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a boring race. Only lap 1 was quite fun, few overtakes. But then after that, you know, just staying there, managing a bit the tools and the tires.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Camille.
Well, congratulations, Andrea. I know it's 4.5 weeks ago, but I remember when Oscar finished the Japanese Grand Prix, he said, once we start these Grand Prix, we're not bad at them. And that's really been carried on. Perfect start and a 1-2.
Yeah, I want to, but before we talk about that, allow me please to remember and pay tribute to Alex Zanardi. A very special man, driver, athlete, a real symbol and example of what it means to love life, an inspiration for everyone. So this victory is for him. And having said that, yeah, it's good to start races, it's good to start sprints, it's good to bring upgrades so that we can become more and more competitive. It was important to confirm that the upgrades work, like we have seen yesterday over a single lap. Today it was important to see them in long runs and even hot conditions. So nobody knew exactly what the degradation would have been, but it looks like the car has retained good characteristics from a degradation point of view. So good indications so far, but everyone very close. I think Lando might have benefited from being the lead car, cleaner. Possibly whoever was first today could have won the sprint. So I think everyone close, and we will see more in a few hours in qualifying.
Okay. Well, we will see then. Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you. Well, we have our first non-Mercedes winner of 2026. I mean, you knew it was coming. Did you expect it so soon?
Well, we knew that we are a little bit out of sync with our upgrades that are coming from Montreal. But you know, we were hoping that we were able to hold on now in terms of pure lap times. We do. But obviously, if you have such a bad getaway, which wasn't at all Kimi's fault, it was a glitch on our side, it's difficult.
Okay, so it's simply that. It's simply that the others have caught up. It's not a consequence of any of the rule tweaks that we've seen between Japan and here. That hasn't taken any of your advantage away?
No, not at all. It's I think it's a pure, you know, this is going to be a development race through the year, and whoever brings a few tenths earlier is going to have the advantage.
Okay. Just finally, Toto, I want to ask you about the man who really transcended motorsport in many ways, a man, an Italian driver who raced for Williams. I'm sure, Alex, you knew Alex Zanardi well, as all of us did in the paddock. What were your thoughts on his passing today?
Well, you know, when I came up as a young driver, Zanardi was one of my heroes. I remember the Eau Rouge hunt, and then going stateside and just dominating for such a long time in Indy cars, and then, you know, touring cars in BMW for so many years, and then his career as an Olympian and as a world champion. And he just had a life with so much tragedy, also at the end with his accident on the bicycle, but he always came up head high, always with a smile, never complaining. At least that was what I saw. So we lost a great racer.
Thank you very much, Toto. See you later.
What a sprint race we just had in Miami. McLaren's dominance at the front, Ferrari right there, and very mixed picture across the grid. But now the drivers have spoken, and their reactions tell us a lot more than just the result. Let's go through the entire grid, driver by driver, and break down what they're saying after the sprint. The top three that controlled the race at the front, starting with the podium, it's Lando Norris, the sprint winner. He described the race as controlled, saying that the car felt consistent, throughout, and the managing gap was the priority. He also admitted that Piastri was pushing him the whole time, so this wasn't easy, even if it looked like it. Both drivers had really good driving done in the sprint qualifying, also in the sprint, and then they made it possible for McLaren to have the 1-2 sprint race win. Oscar Piastri said that he tried to stay within the range and had a few moments where he thought about making a move, but the dirty air made it difficult because in Miami, from the heat, the heat and the wind, the dirt comes up, and then while the drivers go with high speeds, it tends to make it difficult for them to have clear visibility in the track, and that's what he said about the dirty air and the difficulties that he had, but so close and not quite enough. Leclerc from Ferrari in the P3, he was focused on maximizing the results. He was very clear that McLaren just had more pace today, and they had a little bit of problem with the power, because Ferrari tends to be a little bit slower on the straights compared to McLaren's. But still, Ferrari is close, and just missing that last step to be in a competition or in a fight with the drivers in the front. In the first two races, we had Mercedes drivers that were flying through the in the track, but now we have McLaren's, and this is tended to be a really interesting 2026 year. But with the change of the regulations that they made before Miami Grand Prix, we see that Mercedes is having a lot of problems trying to keep up and be in the front row. We saw that in the beginning of the race with tire sliding or tire spinning, let's say like that, tire spinning of Antonelli, and he lost a lot of places just in the beginning of the race. George Russell sounded positive, but he said that the team made progress and they extracted everything possible, but didn't quite have the pace for the podium. Yeah, we know. You don't have the car, and you're not that driver that everyone thinks you are. You just need the car to be really fast so you can tend to fight with other drivers. My honest opinion. But I don't think George has the spirit to be a perfect driver. He had the car a couple of races in the beginning. He had the car really fast compared to other drivers, and now they are in the mix, and he's not fast anymore. He just isn't fast. He just doesn't know how to drive. Max Verstappen, the Max, he was P5, and he kept it really direct with all the interviewers. He said that the balance still isn't right and they're lacking grip. Same issue as the qualifying, but he said that I have no excuses, just a clear problem Red Bull needs to solve. And when he says Red Bull needs to solve it, he means that, because he was saying all around nice words about the car, but in general he isn't happy with the results, and he isn't happy how the car behaves, because he likes the car to behave just like he wants it, because as we know, Max Verstappen is a genius driver. I can just say that. I'm a Ferrari fan, but I love Max. He's a genius driver, even though it happened a lot of things, but he deserves to be on top. Kimi Antonelli, the unlucky rookie, had a more reflective tone. He admitted that the race was tough after starting higher up, but said it's all part of learning race management at this level. Car spent in the start, and he lost a lot of places, and he went down, and then he couldn't pick up the pace because you're a rookie, brother. You don't have the car. You don't know how to drive. You just Not anyone can be Max Verstappen. Not anyone can be Lewis Hamilton. Not anyone can be like that. Not anyone. We know Max Verstappen won a race with a broken car. Lewis won a race with punctured tires. Nobody, no one can be like that anymore. Lewis Hamilton, the 8-time champion, for me, don't misuse my words, but for me, he is 8-time champion of the world. He said that the pace was okay, but not strong enough to move forward. Still learning how to extract more from the car, and he said that he will be in the shop, in the factory with the engineers to try to understand why the car doesn't go that fast on the straights and tends to lose power. They need to solve that problem, and hopefully they will. They had a really good mega upgrade on the cars, and the car feels really good, better than the races that they left behind. That's what Lewis Hamilton said. Pierre Gasly, P8, he said that it was a solid race and that they executed well, no mistakes, good points, and he was really happy with the results. Hajar sounded satisfied. He kept it simple. He said that the race was clean for him. He is satisfied with the results and more confidence gained from this sprint. Colapinto was the one that is really surprising anyone, and he said that the car felt decent but struggled to keep up with the cars ahead. Still a positive result overall, and he is happy with the upgrades that they brought for Miami Grand Prix, and he said that the car is starting to get into life and be really good. Bartoletto said that they were close to points but just didn't have enough pace to break the top 10. Ocon, on the other hand, mentioned that the traffic and the difficulty finding rhythm, not the cleanest race. Anytime Ocon says that the traffic is the problem, he doesn't blame himself. You need to start blaming yourself sometime, brother. Bierman, unfortunately, he said that it was a learning race for him. Struggled with tire management, he struggled with the heat, but in overall, he said that this is really a good experience for me because I'm still a rookie and I'm still learning day by day, and hopefully in the future I will be the one that will take that trophy home with me one day. Carlos Sainz is not happy. He pointed again to the balance issues. He said that Williams needs to figure it out why the car is locking up on the turns, and he is not gaining that power immediately while you get out of the turn and go into the straight. He said that something's clearly been affecting him all the weekend, and hopefully they will fix that car because Sainz doesn't deserve this kind of a treatment. Liam Lawson described it as a tough race for him, struggling to make progress in the traffic. Fernando Alonso said that the car simply isn't competitive right now and that they need to understand why quickly. Because, as we know, they have a problem with the car, with the motor, and they still cannot figure out what's the main problem, why the car is behaving like that. And I think that Aston Martin made a big mistake by teaming up with Honda, and now they have big issues with the car and they still cannot understand what's happening with it. Perez said that the tire performance was the main issue, but he couldn't get them into the right window during the race, and that's why he is where he is with the position that he has at the moment. Lance Stroll described the race as very difficult, no grip, no pace. That's how Stroll does his interviews. He just does 20 seconds and then he doesn't even concentrate on the questions that the interviewer asks him, and he's really a spoiled child that has the opportunity to drive an F1 car, even though I think that he doesn't deserve this, and hopefully I won't see him in 2027, my own opinion. Albon said that they struggled throughout, especially in the race conditions compared to qualifying, because today for him was really hot day and he was trying his best to keep his self-conscious alive and not pass out from the heat that they had. Bottas, in the other hand, pointed to a clear performance gap, saying that they need to find answers fast, and Cadillac clearly has work to do because Cadillac is a new team. And Bottas also praised the team for their job that they are doing, because he said that they are doing their best they can, even though they are a new team to this sport. Overall, we had also two drivers that were DNS, Nico Hulkenberg and Arvid Limbold, both of them DNS'd, and who didn't start the race. Early indications suggested technical or reliability issues, and that's something that teams will need to investigate quickly ahead of the main race. So, effectively telling us that the McLaren has both pace and control. Ferrari is close but still chasing. Red Bull has the real balance issues. Mercedes is improving quietly, and some teams are seriously struggling with their cars and the new FIA rules that they have, and the new bullet that they have built. And when drivers across different teams say similar things, that's when you know the story is real. And hopefully this will change, and hopefully in the future we will have the V10s on V8s, because for me personally, in 2014, that's the day, that's the year that this sport started to die rapidly, and we don't have that emotional thing anymore, and we don't have that screaming sounds of those engines. In overall, I just would say to you that can McLaren start to repeat this in their main races? Will Verstappen bounce back? Will they fix his car and he starts to get in the mix and start fighting with the teams in the front? Because as we see at the moment, only he has the ability to fight for Red Bull, and hopefully he won't quit F1 in the future. Also, we see that Ferrari is closing the gap day by day and race by race, and hopefully we will see Ferrari again on the top, and that's my own dream, and hopefully I will see Ferrari be the champion one day. Whatever your thoughts are, please drop them below on the comment section. Like the video because we need your likes and your subscriptions. Tell your friends, your family to subscribe to the channel for more F1 content from us. Thank you one more time, and we'll see you in the Grand Prix. Bye bye.